Hello, Hal here. Today we're going to teach you 96 bar chords in one video lesson. Are you ready? What you need to do is you need to make sure that you know the open position chords E and A. And what you will do is you'll find in the description these chords right here, these E chords and these A chords. It's possible that you might need to watch the video that we did on it. It's called Open Position Chords E and A. That link will also be in the description. Let's see, you need to know the notes on the E string and on the A string, and that link will be in the description. There's a video called Learn the Notes on the E and A strings. So if you haven't seen those yet, make sure you know that. If you get lost in this lesson at all, then you'll need to go back and see that. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the four E chords, E, E minor, E7, and E minor 7. And let's talk about how those relate to bar chords. On the E chords, what we have here is that your E chord has a low E bass note, like that. Now, if I were to take my capo and put it up on the 3rd fret like this, all right, the low E bass note that I'm playing now is actually a G. You know, when you play a G chord, it looks like this, right? Well, that's a G note. When you put the capo on, then this note turns into a G. And if I play this chord right here, guess what? It looks like an E chord, but it's really a G chord, because the low note is a G, and this is actually a major chord. So when you're playing a bar chord like that, when you're playing any chord, like the E chord, that's a major chord. And whatever the name of the note is on this low string, this low E string, is going to be the name of the chord. So if I change it to G like this, that's a G chord. If I go up to the 5th fret, the note on the 5th fret there is A, and it's going to be an A chord. It looks like an E chord. Okay, the same thing happens with a bar. What we do is we have this E chord like this, but if we want to do a bar, instead of putting our capo on the 3rd fret, we just change fingers. We're going to play the E chord with our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers like this. And then, if we take our chord up 3 frets, and then put our finger where the capo was, then we have a bar chord. The name of this note is G, and that's a G bar chord. Now the shape is an E shape. Some people call this an E bar chord. I find that to be a little bit confusing because really this is a G chord and it looks like an E chord, and so to say this is an E bar chord on the 3rd fret, it's a G chord, it sounds confusing to me. I was looking at a book one time, I have a book called Jazz Chords and Progressions or something like that, and they called this kind of a chord a Form 1 bar chord, which I thought was really smart because it took the letter name out of it. So the idea here is that here's an E chord, and then your 1st fret, you've got an F. If you put your bar there, and then put your E chord back on, that's an F chord. If you go up to G, you've got a G chord. If you go up to A, you've got an A chord. If you go up to B, you've got a B chord and a C chord. So E, F, G, A, B, and then C. Now the way we do the sharps and flats, of course, is that if we're on F and we want to play F sharp, you just go up 1 fret and play the same chord. These are all major chords. So how do we do minor chords? Okay, there's your E chord. What you do is you pick this finger up, and now this G string, instead of being pushed down on the 1st fret, is open. So there's your minor chord, E minor. And if we put it on the 1st fret, that note is F, so this is F minor. What I'd like to do is I like to take this finger off and put it right next to my bar finger, just like that. And then 3rd fret would be a G minor, 5th fret would be A minor. And you know what's interesting about this? There's the first 5 low notes there. If we play a regular A minor chord, those are the same exact notes, just in a different position. The only note we don't have is that note right there for that A minor chord. This one and this one. Okay, so you've got E minor, F minor, F sharp minor, G minor, G sharp minor, and so on, all the way up the neck. Let's see. So what have we taught you so far? Well, we've taught you the E major chord, and then you can use the bar with the chord and go all the way up the neck. You get 12 different chords: E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp. Now if I go one more, then I would be on the 12th fret. And here on my acoustic guitar, I don't have a cutaway, so I can't really play that bar chord very well. So that's 12 different chords, 12 different major chords, and 12 different minor chords: E minor, F minor, F sharp minor, G minor, all the way up. And then, of course, you've got your 7s, E7, F7, F sharp 7, just like that. Let's see, and one more for those E chords. You've got E minor 7, F minor 7, F sharp minor 7, just like that, all the way up the neck. So let's say you're playing a song and all of a sudden you've got F sharp minor 7 and you're saying to yourself, let's see, how do I play that? F sharp, do the minor 7 shape, and there you go. That's 48 different chords. The E chord makes 12, the E minor chord makes 12, the E7 chord makes 12, and the E minor 7 chord makes 12, depending on where you put it. Here are the chords for A. If you make an A chord, it's just like the other ones. We're going to put our bar onto the fretboard like this, and we're going to make an A chord. Now, I don't do this very often. I don't use 3 fingers very often, although you can. A lot of times what I do is I use 1 finger and bar it across, just like that. Okay, so if I'm playing I'll just use 1 finger, just like that. So this is your A chord, your B chord, your C chord, your D chord, your E chord, F, F sharp, right? Same thing with your A minor chords. A minor, B minor, C minor, D minor. Remember, if you go back a half a step, you're going to do D flat minor, okay? And that will make 12 minor chords all the way up on the A string. And then you've got your 7, your A7, just like this, A7, B7, C7, D7, D sharp 7, E flat 7, okay? All the way up. And you've got one more, your A minor 7 chord, just like that. You can make B flat minor 7, B minor 7, C minor 7. As long as you've got that shape, okay, then you've got the quality of the chord you want. For instance, this is an A minor 7. If you use that same exact shape in a bar chord, you still have a minor 7 chord. You just have to know what note you're playing, right? This is a D. You're playing a D minor 7, or a D7, or a D minor, or a D chord, right? Now there's a little bit of a trick to playing these kind of bar chords. This one right here. You really need to get your finger straight, and I will probably talk about this a little bit more in a different video, but this finger needs to be pretty straight to be able to do these chords. Okay? If you're curved like this and trying to do it, it's not going to work, because you've got to be able to have the pressure across to get your A string and your E string with this particular chord. Okay, and you won't be able to do that if you bend your finger like this, or if your wrist is coming up here. You got to drop your wrist, straighten this finger out, and then you're fine. Just like that. I do have a sheet in the description that looks like this. It would be really good if you could get this sheet and then fill it out. What you do is you put the E chords here, E, E minor, E7, and E minor 7, put them on this side, and then on this side, put your A minor, A7, A minor 7. On this sheet, take a pencil and write under the letter the fret that that note corresponds with. For instance, on the E string, you're going to put a 0 below the E because your E is open. And then under the F, put a 1 because we find the F note on the first fret. And under the G, put a 3, and so on. So that you have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, E, F, G, A, B. And if you put it on your sheet right here and put 0, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, like that, then you'll get to know these really well. And also, if you have your A notes filled out, you put your fret numbers below the letters where they go. You'll learn these very quickly. So put your chords, A chords over here, E chords over here, your fret numbers below the letters where they are, and this will be a sheet that can really help you with learning your bar chords. So we've actually done 96 bar chords. We've done 12 chords with the E, 12 chords with E minor, 12 chords with E7, 12 chords with E minor 7, 12 chords with A, 12 chords with A minor, 12 chords with A7, 12 chords with A minor 7. Okay, and you can move them all the way up and down the neck. And that's all the bar chords that you need. There are some other ones, but we won't talk about those right now. These are your basic bar chords. If you know these, you're going to be brilliant on the guitar. You're going to be able to play all over the neck. For instance, if you're playing an E chord, you can play it here, right? But you can also play it here. The E note is found on the 7th fret on the A string, and you could play this bar chord. If you have a cutaway on your guitar or an electric guitar, you could play the bar chord right up here. There you go. There's the 96 bar chords for guitar. I hope this helps. Look in the description for the different sheets that you need, and make sure that you learn these very well, because we're going to be using those a lot in songs that we play. So this is Hal signing out for Quail Studios. Thank you for coming by. We'll talk to you later.